standing, waiting for the bus, like here in this area, you have to be very careful with your surroundings and everything like that, because I have seen violence. I have seen bus shelters being torched, people assaulted.
Crime, one of the issues, safety on the bus. We are focusing in on transit with the 8 candidates for Winnipeg Mayor October 26th. Routes that are accessible, fast, frequent, affordable, and of course, safe. Earlier on the start, Sarah Cron, who lives in Fort Richmond, says that new Blue Line system forces her children to spend more time on the bus now to get to school in Fort Garry.
The kids now have to go to Pembina, hop on the Blue Line, and go north. But that veers off into the Parker lands, and so they can't take that all the way to their large high school, Vincent Massey. They have to stop at the University, Chancellor Matheson and Bison Drive area and get off and wait for another bus and then hop on the 60 to get 5 minutes down the road to their high school. So it has essentially doubled their commute time from, let's say, 20 minutes on the bus to now 40 minutes minimum, depending on how long the wait is for that second bus.
Now, some of the candidates, Julie, have said that you accelerate the plan, that'll alleviate some of the issues, but right now, the plan that's being put in place, it really doesn't get done for about 25 years.
So how critical is the function for a modern transit system, the future economic development of our city? Some of the questions, and again, it all starts with, where we're at right now. And joining us is Kevin Klein, one of the mayoral candidates. Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us.
Julie, Richard, good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
You hear Sarah Cron's story. I just came back from the UK. So for people saying that I'm a transit snob, not the case. I used it all over London. No problem using it. But I did the Map My Ride from my spot here in South Winnipeg. It would take me over 60 minutes to get downtown, and it's about a 20-minute drive, if I'm being generous. Do you understand why people are hesitant, and how can we fix that? I'd be happy to jump on board if it made sense.
Well, it's the same from Charleswood. It would take our son, when he was living with us, over an hour and 40 minutes to get from Charleswood to the U of W. Unacceptable. But what I do want to talk about is that we do need an effective and efficient transit system. And I've heard a lot of candidates for mayor finally talking about the safety of buses, because that is the number one problem that we have, and it's the number one problem in our city, because we have a number of people that are afraid to use the bus. And then the next complaint that I hear is the bus shelters. And I've committed early in this election, and I am still committing to dealing with the crime in our city. The bus issue, unfortunately, I've tried to tackle this at council. The plan was put together, and I did not vote for it because we had 4 days to review the plan. It promises over $500 million in spending, but it doesn't recognize or identify any funding sources. And when I talk to residents, I hear what you're hearing. We've stopped buses in Charleswood. We've, in new areas like the Outlet Mall, I had a number of staff, 60, that can't use the bus anymore because when they get done work, it's 10 o'clock, and the last bus is at 10 to 10. And they signed a petition, and they tried to get later bus service, and I'm working with them on that, and I'm hopefully going to get that for them. But the reality is that we've made it so inconvenient to use the bus, and we've made it unsafe that people are turning their nose up to the transit system.
On safety, there has been talk, and I asked the Justice Minister this the other day. They're not prepared to announce this as of yet, but increasing peace officer status and somehow getting a form of transit police. What would you do?
Well, I'll tell you right now, you can't have somebody on the bus, a security or a peace officer, because these are dangerous situations, Richard, and you know that from being in the news for as long as you have been. People that are on the bus that are causing troubles, 9 times out of 10 have a weapon, a gun, a knife, bear spray. We need to have trained professionals. And what I would do is I would work with the police board to make sure that we're meeting the needs, values, and expectations of residents by ensuring that police that may be inside the police station are replaced with cadets, and we take a group focused on transit. Because my talks with the transit union and police, is we can narrow it down to about 6 or 7 bus routes where all the problems are. And we need to focus on that, and we need to make sure that people know there could be a police officer on that bus. And we need to be strong on that and stick to that so that we can make our transit system safe for everybody. I want my grandkids to use the transit. I want my, parents-in-law to use the transit, but right now I won't let them.
So in our conversations with the other candidates today, some are saying increase the ridership and it'll become more safe. Some are saying increase the safety, you'll get more ridership. For you, which is the chicken, which is the egg? So where do you begin?
Well, first of all, for any of them that are talking about safety on the buses, this is the first time they're actually coming out publicly to talk about safety on the buses. So congratulations to CJOB for making this an item, because this should have been talked about a long time ago. And I've tried to move it at council several times because we have what's called the Transit Advisory Board. And I've wanted that Transit Advisory Board to meet with the public, go public at council, allow people to come in and talk to them about the safety issues. But Councillor Allard, Gillingham, and the rest of them didn't want that. They voted no to that. So they keep that meeting behind closed doors. And people aren't allowed to give their opinion to that group, but that group tells us how things are. I have to be honest. I know from talking to the union and bus drivers in the public service, about 5,000 people a day don't pay for transit. That tells me we have to fix the current system first before we start talking about how great it's going to be in 10 or 15 years. We need to deal with the issues we have today.
Councillor, one of the things I think other levels of government are doing, depending on where you are in this country, but certainly there's money, there's federal dollars, likely some more provincial dollars, and you have New Flyer in your backyard here as far as electrification of the bus fleet is concerned. Where would that be in your area of priorities for the city's transit system?
What an excellent question. My time on council, I have met with the CEO of New Flyer, and he provided me a binder with a brand new system with electric buses and how to make our system more efficient in Winnipeg. And he had told me he had brought it to City Council and to the Mayor's office, I guess, and to the EPC, and was turned away. I would make that phone call on day one and say, let's work together on this. They are like the Tesla of electric buses. We need to work with the community partners we have at making our system the most efficient. What New Flyer would like to see is that we have their buses and their systems in place so that they can fly people from around North America or even Europe to come here and see how strong their programs are and how good their buses are in our environment. But we have to stop turning away those opportunities. Like we tried to turn away the flashing amber lights, like we tried to turn away Homes for Heroes. We've got to work with people.
Kevin Klein, appreciate that. We'll talk to you on some of the other issues in the days ahead.